Okay, so Douglas Burks says, I'm in love with a Christian who thinks that Jesus is God. I try, but to no avail to teach her, but she still believes that God is a man. She knows that I do not pray according to her faith, and she's actually okay with that. Can I marry this woman?
Oh, okay. All right. And this person's not Jewish, and could he marry someone who's a Christian? Well, as it turns out, this is one of the easier questions that are asked, because on every side, this is not a very good idea. It's important that someone who worships the God of Israel should marry somebody who worships and cherishes the God of Israel and worships no man. As it turns out, strangely, this Christian, whoever she is, she's not supposed to be marrying someone who's not a Christian, because the Christian Bible says that a Christian shouldn't be unequally yoked. So obviously, she can't be that, as they say, from. But the key point is this: it really would be a much better idea for the relationship to develop a little bit further. Okay. It's quite possible these two people care about each other. If he's written in with such a question, he's probably discussed it with her as well. And what I think is important is this is a good test of their relationship. Can the two of them sit down together and say, look, we both want to worship the same God. Moreover, we're not talking about going out on a date or seeing a terrific movie together. We're talking about building a family together. So if we're dealing with two different faiths here, how would we raise children? So there's a practical element. And the reason I raise this issue is that marriage has enough challenges as it is. Certainly don't add more to it. So it's important. I think this is a good test if the two of you, speaking to you and the young lady who you're considering spending your life with, this is a good test of your relationship. Can you work out these kinds of issues together? And work it out doesn't mean like you vote if Jesus is the Messiah or he's God or not. It's really much more interesting than that. Rather, what I think the both of you should say is, we're going to look at this together with an open mind for the truth. Let's seek out the Jewish scriptures together, and wherever that takes us, we'll go together. Now, if she's into that, if that makes sense to her, then you have first of all, you have a child of God. You have someone that you can really build a fantastic relationship with. It really is not a good idea for a married couple to be of different faiths. And this could be true of any faith. As it turns out, a person who's a Noahide worships the God of Israel should make sure that the father of her children or the mother of his children should worship the God of Israel. That's really important. It's the Bible tells us this is very important. It was important before the Jewish people existed that Abraham was ensuring that he had the proper wife for his son. So it's very important on every level of how you choose the person you're going to spend your life with. Bear in mind that getting married, deciding who you're going to marry, is really, really, really not like saying, this is a great date and I really like you and I really enjoy spending time with you. Marriage is about saying we're going to spend the rest of our lives together building a family and building a home. And that home has to be built on a foundation. And if you just have a marriage that sounds like an extension of a third date, that's not a good idea. The foundation has to be a foundation of mutual understanding and mutual worship. It would be, I think it would be a very bad idea to marry someone out of the faith. And this goes for anyone. I mean, the Jew or Gentile. And number two is people get married because they want to bring children to the world. How are these children going to be raised? You're just inviting every problem. So this is a no-brainer. And not only that, this is a great way to see if how well the two of you could solve issues together, could come up with solutions together. So this is a no-brainer.
Okay, very
don't
good.
do it. But doesn't mean don't get married. Just sit down and say, this is what I think you should do. Say, look, let's reason together. Let's agree that the Jewish Bible has to be the Word of God. Because this is really easy. This is not Hinduism versus Judaism. She's a Christian. Christians believe that the Jewish Bible is the Word of God. That's important. So you have this common text. Muslims, as it turns out, believe that the Jews messed with the Bible. So they don't completely adhere. They believe the Jewish scriptures is sacred, but they don't believe it's absolutely perfect. But Christians do. You couldn't possibly be in a better situation. And if you can't solve this issue, and I'm speaking to you, whatever your name is, how are you going to solve other issues in a marriage? So I'm sure she's a lovely girl. Please take this in the right context. But I'm really giving you very good advice. And everybody who's listening to the show is going, hey, that rabbi gives terrific advice. He should be doing a Dear Rabbi column. All right, let's move on.